This first one that came from Madhudvisa Prabhu. What I like about these particular excerpts is that Srila Prabhupada was in the public eye, in public programs, and he would be challenged. So it's really interesting how he handled these different kinds of challenging questions. Okay, so a puffed up young man said, "Today I choose to be God. Today I choose to take the responsibility of the whole universe upon myself. Therefore, I am God." When he heard this young man, Prabhupada took a deep breath and said, "My God is powerful." The man said, "I choose to be the all-powerful God." Prabhupada said, this is really amazing, "I choose to kick your face with shoes. Can you stop me?" The man said, "Give me some time." Prabhupada said, "My God is powerful all the time. Why should I accept you as God?" The whole auditorium burst into laughter, and that man was mortified. Prabhupada said to him, "Please, don't waste your time on this nonsense. Try to be godly. Don't try to be God." This next one is it's from Sri Bhuvanath Prabhu. He's from London or England, I think. He was, yeah. And so this probably happened there in Europe someplace. An impersonalist stood up and in so many words said, "I am God, we're all God, it's all one." Prabhupada didn't speak. This guy was in the front of the audience looking straight at Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was looking straight at him. He carried on for some time and then finally ran out of words. Prabhupada looked very grave, but like a lion. There was complete silence. Prabhupada said, "You are not God, you are dog." The guy practically fell back in shock. The audience stood up, clapped, cheered, and whistled as if someone had just scored a goal in the World Cup. It was an amazing reaction. Prabhupada was surprised at the reaction. The people completely backed him up. This one's from Mother Shanava, and this happened, she says where it happened. In the Boston airport in 1969, the devotees gathered to greet Srila Prabhupada's arrival. When Srila Prabhupada came out beaming, we all bowed down. There was a sea of us devotees bowing down. Meanwhile, newspaper reporters with their cameras watched in amazement as this sea of Americans in 1969 bowed down to this Indian sannyasi. Srila Prabhupada noted this and spoke to them. You can imagine they were thinking, why are they all bowing down to him? So Srila Prabhupada said to everybody, the spiritual master is to be worshipped as God because he is the representative of God. You could have heard a pin drop in that part of the airport. But if the spiritual master thinks that he is God, then he is dog, then he had them. Reporters. Okay, so here's one from Anzaduta. Once Srila Prabhupada was speaking to a room full of hippies at 26 2nd Avenue. A girl raised her hand and asked, "Swamiji, are there many ways to God?" This reminds me, this morning we were listening to Prabhupada's class. Prabhupada said there's only one way, Bhakti. So she raised her hand, "Are there many ways to God?" Prabhupada said, "No, there is only one way, just like food. You can't put it in your ear or in your rectum. It must go in your mouth." So, is my time up? Or should I continue? There's one more.
A couple of minutes.
Okay, good. This is actually the best one. And this is going to involve some audience participation. So, who wrote this? Burning to ask my question, I raised my hand. There are so many swamis and yogis, I began, and each recommends a different process of self-realization, and each says that his is best. So how do I know which is actually best? Who asked this question?
Vishnujan Swami? Vishnujan Maharaj?
Who?
Vishnujan Maharaj?
Vishnujan Maharaj. No. Okay. So we'll go a little further and then see if you remember. Prabhupada responded. How did Prabhupada respond to this? He's being asked a question. There's so many gurus and yogis, and they're all saying their way is best. So how do you know which one's best?
Was it Allen Ginsberg that?
No, it wasn't. Prabhupada responded in such a unique way. He responded by asking another question, which was just tuned to the psychology of the days, of the time.
Correct. John Lennon, Yoko Ono.
No. Nice try. Good guesses. Prabhupada responded, what is your goal? Do you want to serve God or do you want to become God? Yes, from watering the seed.
Yeah.
God is God. He is always God. He doesn't have to become God by meditation. Krishna is always God. He is God when he's playing on the lap of Mother Yashoda. He is God when he's fighting at Kurukshetra. He's God when he's speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. That is God. So if you want to serve God and you sow the seed of devotional service and water it by chanting, God will provide the sunlight and all other favorable conditions to make it grow. But if you want to become God, then why should God help the competition? Then he said, God is in your heart. He is ready to help you. You can become godly, but you cannot become God. If you want to become God, you are only cheating yourself. As Srila Prabhupada spoke, I got the clear impression that he knew everything about me, that he was seeing right into me, into Walltown, into my apartment, into my bathroom, right to the wall on which I had pasted a sign I had inscribed in ornate lettering, "You are God." So what do you think, Srila Prabhupada asked critically? Do you want to serve God or do you want to become God? I felt so ashamed. My abominable desire to become God had been exposed. Still, I didn't want to admit it. I want to serve God, I said. But I knew that I couldn't fool Srila Prabhupada. He knew everything. How could I cheat him? Within a second, I admitted. I want to serve God, but I can see that I was trying to become God. And Srila Prabhupada affirmed emphatically, yes. Srila Prabhupada, he. Srila Prabhupada's disciples, he.